No doubt that Sony has been setting the bar for vloggers over the past 3 years by creating high-end, feature-rich cameras exclusively for content makers and YouTubers. So let's get moving as we reveal the all-new Sony ZV-1F from Sony's line of ZV cameras that has filled a need for artists to make a video as good as any other camera that costs thousands of dollars. Honestly, it only makes sense to tap into this enormous and profitable market given how popular video is becoming on social media. The ZV-1, which debuted to considerable fanfare, swiftly rose to the top of the vlogging camera market. In addition, the ZV-E10 quickly followed, providing aspiring videographers with the choice of switching lenses for various viewpoints. But does this new camera have enough appeal to win over various audiences in a world where almost everyone has a smartphone in their pocket that can create stunning 4K masterpieces? For starters, you would understand that one needs to create vlog-style videos on a variety of different cameras if you are a professional content maker. And while we always mix and match our content depending on the camera we have available, from action cameras like the GoPro Hero 11 Black to full-frame hybrids like the Sony a7 IV, and even our dependable iPhones, we are aware that a vlogging camera must be able to make videos of sufficient quality and be convenient to use for individuals. The first is, of course, being readily apparent. We won't ever actually utilize a camera if it is difficult to use. Convenience is influenced by a variety of factors, including how quickly and easily you can start recording, how simple it is to use in the field, how little you have to bother about settings, and whether you can get focus and frame just right without double-checking everything. And when we say excellent enough quality, it's because as vloggers, individuals primarily create vlogs rather than theatrical films. And they often don't care about complex color grading, high frame rates, etc. if the footage is only going to be used on YouTube or Instagram Reels. Simply write what you have in mind, record the video, edit it as soon as you can, and upload it. And the best part of all of it is that these are the two issues that the ZV-1F seeks to address, and it does a respectable job on both. But then whose needs does it specifically meet? The Sony ZV-1F might be the best choice for you if you're an aspiring video maker aiming to publish high-quality travel or lifestyle vlogs. Also, beginning vloggers and content producers who want something better than an iPhone or Android but don't want to spend a lot of money or require additional features not found in the ZV-1 are the target audience for the ZV-1F. But the Sony ZV-1F is only superior to an iPhone or an Android smartphone if all you want to do is produce video. When compared to using a phone's rear camera, it performs better in low light, it's simpler to operate the various video settings, has manual video settings if needed, and includes an articulating LCD screen that allows you to see yourself clearly while filming. However, the ZV-1F is not very good at taking photos, and thanks to modern smartphones' sophisticated computational processes, the pictures they can produce seem better right out of the camera. As far as the resolution of its video is concerned, the Sony ZV-1F can record videos at both 24 and 30 frames per second in ultra-high definition of about 4K. Consequently, to create a 5x slow-mo rate at 24 frames per second, you can record at 120 frames per second in 1080p by switching to S&Q mode, which stands for slow and quick. This is thus ideal for creating a cinematic B-roll. However, the camera in S&Q does not record audio, but that is a limitation known and is probably not going to be much of a problem. On the other hand, a hyperlapse shooting mode is also available, which may capture your movie up to 60 times quicker and play it back at 24, 25, or 30 frames per second. Then again, most of the time, seeing shaky video is painful. So even a slight shake while you're still contributes to the authentic look of a vlog. But once someone starts moving around and speaking to the camera, the video can make the viewer queasy. However, the image stabilization can help to eliminate that annoying camera shake in this situation. And this is exactly what the Sony ZV-1F offers. That's right, the Sony ZV-1F offers steady shot, which is a respectable form of built-in image stabilization. For run-and-gun vlogging, steady shot is what you want to utilize, and it's always nice to typically leave active stabilization on. No steady shot is acceptable if you are putting your camera on a tripod. However, hand-holding it while vlogging is not advised. Not to mention, active cuts in somewhat to account for the extra stabilization, making the 20mm fixed lens into a 25mm equivalent, which is still wide enough for the majority of vlogging situations as offered by Sony ZV-1F. That being said, one of the most popular features to be included in the Sony ZV-1 was Product Showcase, a groundbreaking feature that allowed the camera to fluidly focus on an object held in front of the lens and then return to focusing on your eye when removed. And that's something we are really delighted that Sony extended Product Showcase to the ZV-1F. This is because when writing product evaluations, this feature comes in quite handy because it ensures that you never lose sight of the subject at hand. But to use it, you must turn on the corresponding setting in the menu. Moving on, nothing highlights a subject more than a lovely, creamy bokeh. And it would be quite fair to say that the ZV-1F does a reasonably good job of achieving bokeh, which are the background parts of a photograph that are out of focus. This aesthetic effect is frequently highly popular in portrait photography. The camera's greatest aperture, f2, is used when the bokeh switch is engaged to blur the background. Then we have the industry-leading focusing technology of the Sony line of cameras, which is one of our favorite features. The Sony ZV-1F incorporates eye autofocus, the finest feature of Sony's focus engine, despite being an entry-level vlogging camera. This works by automatically detecting the subject's eye and adjusting the focus to it. Because the last thing you want, if you're vlogging, is for your face to be blurry and the tree in the background to be razor crisp, right? Sony has also included the ability to swap picture profiles to give a larger scope of capability in the editing room, including the professional-grade S-Log profile, despite the camera being targeted at beginning video creators. But we'll be upfront and honest here. It's likely that if you're a novice video creator looking at the ZV-1F, you won't be wanting to use S-Log or Cine. While it's great to have and most pros would regard this as a vital, it's a bit much for a beginner's camera. However, if you want to experiment with color grading, learn how to use Expose for S-Log, capture some content, and then load it into your preferred video editing program. We also have another thing to add to our review of the Sony ZV-1F, which is a feature from Sony known as Soft Skin Effect, and smooths out wrinkles and skin imperfections digitally. It also has 4 settings: low, medium, high, and off. We gave it a try and shut it off right away. Then again, call us millennials out of touch, but even if this tool works really well, we think it's excessive and don't understand the point of applying a filter to your face in a vlog to make you appear more youthful than you actually are. After all, too much glitter and sparkles can sometimes be a bit too much. The Sony ZV-1F has yet another characteristic that relates to its video capabilities and its capacity to shoot vertically. You are all quite familiar that in the age of Instagram Reels and TikToks, it might be challenging to fit content that is landscape-oriented into a 9:16 frame. In addition, the crop itself results in a significant loss of clarity and features, and the entire point of that very video doesn't remain the same. To record natively in vertical, though, simply flip your ZV-1F from landscape to portrait and begin recording. But get the framing and composition right the first time, and you can still use your content in its original resolution. Simply put, if you're planning on utilizing this camera for anything more complex than taking simple YouTube thumbnails, don't bother with it. Don't get us wrong. It has a 20-megapixel sensor, so it's not a bad camera. But the Sony ZV-1F only shoots in JPEG, not RAW, which makes it clear that the camera isn't intended for taking pictures. This, however, implies that you have very limited editing options because the camera automatically compresses the style into the file and deletes the superfluous data. However, it's not a major concern if you just shoot in JPEG and don't edit your photos. But lacking RAW is a real limitation unless you're satisfied with the results of every photograph as they come out of the camera. And now that this video is almost over, and your mind is still not made about whether or not this camera is the right choice for you, here's what we'll say. Beginner vloggers and content producers who want to upgrade from a smartphone but don't want to spend more money on a better quality camera are the target market for the Sony ZV-1F. Should you immediately get one for yourself, though, if you're considering content production seriously and may perhaps want to pursue it as a career? Well, now that depends. For starters, if you don't want to make lengthy YouTube videos and are simply interested in doing IG Reels or TikToks, stick to your phone. The Sony ZV-1F, however, is for you if you're prepared to begin making YouTube videos on a budget as well. For example, if you're ready to start a trip channel or simply document your life on YouTube but don't want to blow your budget. But even if we have presented you with all the facts, you've still got to decide for yourself. That's all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe though so you can catch us again. Until then, take care.